My name is Yvonne Okwara Matole.
My name is John Allen, and we are continuing with our coverage of the crackdown on second-generation alcohol. Our hashtag tonight is Lost on Liquor. We're continuing with that because it still is an issue in Central Region specifically. Tonight we've got a very, very eclectic panel of legislators, people in the industry, people who manufacture alcohol, as well as David Ogot from goinghome.co.ke, a recovering alcoholic himself. We've got coverage planned from across the country on this issue and why it is still an issue a year on. July the 14th, last year, 78 drinks were banned or suspended by NACADA and the Kenya Bureau of Standards. This year, from what we're being told, the same list of drinks is amongst the 385.
Absolutely. And this was interesting because I remember doing this, it was just now over a year ago.
Yeah.
And we discussed that some of those drinks that were on that list last year had been banned 5 years before. And so today, I suppose the discussion John Alanamu aims to have is how to solve this issue once and for all. 1 year ago, close to 80 people dead, or slightly over 80.
84 people.
84. And here we are again. It's hashtag after hashtag, discussion after discussion. What will it take? Crackdown after crackdown. Lost in liquor. We're asking you today, what will it take to solve this illicit brew menace in the country once and for all? Please do share your thoughts with us at John Allen Namu at KTN Kenya and at Yvonne Okwara, or you can also SMS us as well, 22155 if you prefer. And let's together find a solution to this crisis in the country.
All right, we've also got lots of stories from across the country, including hard tackle politics between CORD and Jubilee for youth political fanatics out there. We've got that lined up for you on KTN, The Point of News. Stay tuned. These are the highlights on KTN Weekend Prime.
Achague mtu mwingine sasa, unajua akichagua tena Kalonzo mimi nitamlima tu kwa sababu unajua sasa
friend William Ruto has enough personal baggage to grapple with.
Deputy President and CORD co-principal in a supremacy battle. Anarchy and a trail of destruction marks the war on illicit liquor.
When we started running, some of us, like me, I fell down. When I fell down, people came on top of me.
Several injured in Mombasa port stampede as thousands turn up for jobs. After college siege, construction workers at Garissa College return to give institution a facelift.
William Silla is our sign language interpreter tonight. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the program. Let's start off with some politics. CORD co-principal Kalonzo Musyoka has lashed out at Deputy President William Ruto for allegedly seeking comic relief through unsolicited advice to CORD principals on how to defeat the Jubilee administration in the 2017 general elections.
Speaking today in Nairobi, Kalonzo expressed confidence that CORD will form the next government in 2017. And last Sunday, while in Raila Odinga's Bondo backyard, the deputy president urged the ODM leader to drop Kalonzo Musyoka as his running mate in 2017 or face defeat, as was the case in the 2013 poll.
10,000, thank you very much, Mom.
Last Sunday, while addressing a church service at Bondo Anglican Church during a fundraiser, Deputy President William Ruto advised CORD leader Raila Odinga on how he may actualize his dream of occupying State House. Raila is keen to battle it out with President Uhuru Kenyatta in the 2017 general election.
Baba ajipange 2017 wamenyane na Uhuru kwa sababu mimi 2022 mimi nakuja kuomba kura ya Nyanza. Wamalizana na Uhuru hapo 2017. Si namna hiyo? Na achague mtu mwingine sasa, unajua akichagua tena Kalonzo mimi nitamlima tu kwa sababu unajua sasa mimi
Ruto's remarks have rattled Kalonzo Musyoka. The CORD co-principal launched an onslaught to get back at Ruto, unleashing an uppercut on the deputy president.
My friend William Ruto has enough personal baggage to grapple with, and if appointing himself political advisor to CORD principals would give him some measure of comic relief, then let the self-declared hustler be.
Yesterday, while in William Ruto's home county of Uasin Gishu, CORD leader Raila Odinga dismissed Ruto's criticism of Kalonzo Musyoka as a weak politician who cannot help Raila win an election.
Wanataka rudi nyumbani tufanye kazi pamoja. Si namna hiyo? Si namna hiyo? Lakini wachana na watu ambao mimi niko nayo hapa. Kalonzo hana maneno na wewe. Wachana na Kalonzo. Kalonzo ni mwanaume na yeye anaweza.
In a hard-hitting statement during a media briefing in Nairobi, Kalonzo Musyoka accused the Jubilee administration for presiding over what he called tech-savvy looting of public funds through high-level institutionalized corruption.
And in his own admission, President Uhuru Kenyatta has called global attention to pervasive corruption in his office. But for reasons only known to himself, he lacks the courage to name the fat cats. When a president is held hostage by an evil cabal of corruption cartels, the outcome would make Anglo-leasing and Goldenberg look like child play.
Kalonzo says the Jubilee administration has politicized the war on corruption by applying double standards. Kalonzo insists there should be no sacred cows in graft war.
It is a pity that statecraft and resources are being mobilized to insulate devolution CS Anne Waiguru from accountability on suspected shady dealings in our ministry, while at the same time unleashing dogs of war on peripheral courts, cabinet secretaries and other senior government actors on flimsy allegations of corruption. Let us make this point very clear. We will not drop the demand for Waiguru to either step down or be forced out of office to pave way for proper investigations into the award of tenders and jobs in a devolution docket.
State House has defended Anne Waiguru, saying she is not facing any criminal charges over the NYS saga. A section of politicians allied to Jubilee administration claim the opposition is targeting high performance in government in an attempt to divert the government from delivering on its promises. On Thursday at State House, Nairobi, President Uhuru Kenyatta was awarded Africa's President of the Year 2014-2015 for his outstanding leadership and ability to build consensus locally and abroad. Kalonzo has questioned the authenticity of the award.
Any group of students can get together and declare Kalonzo the best opposition leader.
And it's against...
Yeah, and against who? When was this? When was it? You know, we all know about Mo Ibrahim's, for instance, Mo Ibrahim's award to the best president in Africa, in the continent. And I think the last known winner was former President Chisano of Mozambique. And that comes with an award of, I think, $5 million. We must not make this thing cheap.
Patrick Amimo, KTN Weekend Edition.
On to that story that we've been following since Thursday. Lost in liquor is the hashtag. Now, a total of 385 brands of alcohol have been suspended following a government directive to close down all dens selling illicit brew in the country. But most manufacturers now say the exercise is being abused as genuine businesses are being victimized. They insist their products were approved by the same government that is now bundling them into the second-generation liquor category. But really, what is the benchmark for determining a second-generation brew? Timothy Otieno tries to answer this puzzle.
Every single den, na ile yote ambayo iko haramu, yote imwagwe, yote straight, na hakuna discussion.
It's a directive from the country's head of state that set the ball rolling. Liters upon liters of illicit brew have since been destroyed, with women in the forefront in the fight against what they say is a curse wasting away young and productive Kenyans. But these latest swoops are contradicting the nobility attached to the president's directive. Anarchy and destruction of some legitimate business premises have darkened the exercise. The Association of Spirit Manufacturers of Kenya insist their businesses have been targeted illegally, yet they adhere to the government regulations.
Actually, it's very political, because even the way it's being done is not humane at all.
The claims have been refuted by the Kenya Bureau of Standards, who give the green light for the sale of these products. In a statement sent to the KTN newsroom, KEB says, and I quote, following the decision by the government to immediately suspend all licenses for all portal spirits, popularly referred to as second-generation alcoholic drinks, we have since written to the manufacturers to stop production of the same. But it is the term second-generation drinks that is rubbing the association's chair the wrong way.
And I don't think that terminology exists anywhere in our manufacturing practices. What we have is either illicit or licit liquor.
How then can Kenyans decipher genuine liquor from the illicit ones? Recommended standards for brewing alcohol involves the use of food-grade ethanol, also called extra-neutral alcohol. This is obtained by fermenting starch from grapes or potatoes. The fermentation is approved by the government before the final product is sold. Illicit brew, on the other hand, is believed to be a byproduct of industrial wastes. The so-called second-generation alcohol is believed to be made by cellulose, a paint alloy that contains nitrate, which is harmful to humans. But what the manufacturers are irate over is the fact that their premises are being raided by the same government that gave them licenses to operate.
If we don't do this, we are going to lose a whole generation, if we have not lost them already.
As an interagency team carries out a nationwide inspection of premises, many hope that this latest drive will ensure no life is lost due to illicit brew. Timothy Otieno, KTN.
Now, even as the crackdown on illicit brew and second-generation liquor intensifies, business operators are crying foul, saying they're being targeted unfairly, despite having legitimate licenses. The businessmen and women are now saying that some of the alcohol confiscated have genuine KEBS approval. A section of them have threatened to sue the government. Now, just yesterday, East African Breweries Limited admitted to having lost 3.4 million shillings worth of alcohol in Othaya. Yet the brew had been given a clean bill of health by the Kenya Bureau of Standards. KTN's senior reporter Carol Nderi has that story.
Friday's exercise of torching alcoholic beverages deemed illicit in Othaya, Nyeri County has sparked a public outrage. The campaign led by Othaya MP Mary Wamboi resulted in confiscating and banning a consignment belonging to East Africa Breweries Limited, EABL. EABL says the consignment was genuine with clearance from the standardization body KEBS, NACADA and legit stamps from Kenya Revenue Authority. In essence, EABL has capped its loss at 3.4 million shillings that went up in smoke. An action that is putting to shame a noble presidential directive on dealing with illicit liquor.
You cannot go and crack down on brews that are licensed. You cannot crack down on brews that have got KRA's terms sanctioned by the government.
Other business owners are coming out strongly to condemn what they term as a haphazard manner in dealing with the menace.
Crack down on brews that have got KRA's terms sanctioned by the government.
Kiama Gashanja, a member of the Bar Owners Association in Nyeri County and one of the 3,000 licensed bar owners in the county, says they are highly disappointed with the execution of the exercise and feel that the licensed operators are being targeted unfairly.
We have beer, we have brews that have kept marks, and yet they are being confiscated. And when they are being confiscated, they are being destroyed. Some are being taken to police station.
And while he supports the president's directive, the Bar Owners Association feels the operation can be handled better.
I don't know why they are going there. We have a lot of illegal brews that are taking place, and we thought that when the excise came, they are going to look for illicit brews.
Following the indiscriminate swoops, the licensed liquor operator says he might be forced to take legal action.
After we have taken stock, we are going to look at all those activities that are taking place that are illegal, and definitely we have to go to court.
While confusion reigns over what constitutes second-generation brews, these brands were confiscated in Chaka, Kieni, bearing fake KEBS stickers.
Na tukikutana huko kotini, na wao pia walipe wale vijana wetu wote ambao wamefanya nini? Wamekufa. Na hata wale ambao bado hawajakufa lakini transformers zimefanya nini? Zimekufa.
The business operators now want a clear structure set out so that their genuine businesses are not hurt.
And the reason really is if we don't do this, we are going to lose a whole generation if we have not lost them already. But it's not too late.
Carol Derry, KTN, Nyeri.
Now, it's a Kenyan reality that illicit brews continue to disorient a large percentage of the youth that would otherwise have a bright future, rendering many unproductive, jobless, and ultimately claiming many lives.
It is for this reason that there has been a nationwide uproar regarding illicit brews. Just 2 days after the president condemned illicit brews, communities, leaders, and the police have swung into action in nationwide swoops. Trix Ingalo reports.
In Kiriaini town, Murang'a County, police and angry members of the public discovered and dismantled a brewing plant in an operation that was spearheaded by area MP Clement Wambugu. The operation that brought down the plant belonging to a local business tycoon was a result of a tip-off from members of the public, perhaps an indicator of a growing intolerance to illicit liquor in the area. In the plant that was at the tycoon's residence, boilers and bottle tops were discovered and confiscated by the police. The owner of the premise was also arrested following orders from the authorities. Liquor worth 6 million shillings was also destroyed.
You can imagine 40 bars serving 4 churches, 1 primary school, 1 girls' secondary school. What type of community are we breeding around this place with all that?
When the crackdown began, we collected a number of those samples and took them to the police station. So they're now being brought back so that they can be destroyed in public, so that we create that confidence among the public.
In Kangema constituency, Murang'a County, authorities did not break into depots and bars that remained closed. Area MP Tyrus Ngahu encouraged the voluntary submission of illicit brews to the police in place of forceful entry into business premises. He also lamented the ambiguity around the term second-generation brews.
Which is the second-generation beer? And that's a question somehow you cannot be able to answer.
Elsewhere in Eldoret, 600 cartons of illicit liquor worth a possible 2.3 million shillings were impounded in Eldoret's Pioneer Estate following a police raid led by area OCPD Issa Manji following a tip-off. The owner of the 3-bedroom house where the liquor was found managed to escape before the raid. In Samburu East, thousands of youth took to the streets to demonstrate against an influx of a local brew known as Metro that has claimed the lives of many. The youth raided liquor stores and bars in the South County.
Very good.
And in Moisbridge town in Uasin Gishu County, police arrested 10 people and confiscated 1,200 liters of busa, 600 liters of changa and 10 kilograms of bang in the early morning operation that was led by local authorities, with area chief promising not to stop until the area was free of illicit brews.
All right, now we cross over to Nyeri, where Kanini Kega, Member of Parliament for Kieni, is joining us now on phone. Kanini, thank you very much for joining us this evening. We saw you in one of the stories this evening in Chaka, I believe, which is part of your constituency, leading a crackdown on illicit alcohol or alcoholic beverages in the area. Tell me, to you, what is second-generation alcohol?
John, this is actually day 2 of the activities that we have been undertaking in our constituency. And of course, it's to get rid of the so-called second generation alcohol. And everybody knows, they know those kind of alcohol, which is very, very cheap. And of course, for me, I don't even want to call it alcohol. It's actually poison. And whenever you visit any shop, they will tell you this is the good alcohol, this is the cheap alcohol, which of course is the second generation. And they know them.
Yes, but how are you defining this? Because you're leading the fight alongside other leaders. How do you define it scientifically, that this is second generation alcohol, this is not? apart from price. If a person makes a competitive argument for his product with price, does that mean that his alcohol is illegal? What is second generation alcohol?
The most interesting thing is that the known brands, that's the first generation, and they are known by the public. The public, if you pick it. Like yesterday, we had a very interesting case whereby children are the ones who are actually leading us to where they sell the second generation alcohol. So it is even known by the kids.
Mr. Kanini, you're not answering my question. What to you is second generation alcohol? You held a bottle of alcohol this afternoon in your hand and said, oh, this one is bad, and you proceeded to demonize it. How are you defining it other than getting what the public perception is? Because it has to be scientific if you're going to do this legally.
Yeah, if you saw, for example, the bottle that I was holding and opening it, when you open an ordinary bottle, there is a sound that it makes. That bottle did not make that sound. Because ordinarily, if you open a bottle, there is that sound, that she, and it is not there. So automatically, that one tells you that is not the right thing. It's not the right product. So
is that how the KEBS officers that have been conducting the exercise with you have been defining what is second generation alcohol?
No. For them, of course, they do the lab tests. But for us, and I'm telling you, it's very obvious to everyone. For those who sell, for those who consume, and even for even kids, they actually know which one is genuine and which is not genuine.
All right, Mr. Kanini, what problems are we trying to resolve here with respect to this crackdown? Are we trying to solve the problem of alcoholism or illicit alcohol?
I think it's both, because the kind of what we are calling alcohol, the second generation, is not alcohol. It's actually a concoction that is actually killing our people, and it is evident everywhere. You go to any village, you will see either young men who are zombies or very fresh graves, because we are burying our young people every day. And the most interesting thing is that when we went yesterday, when we went round, the partakers of those poison or alcohol are the ones who are telling us, you have done something that is very right. At least you are removing us from these shackles, because they don't even understand why they are even taking that brew. So they were telling us, you are helping us get out of this major problem. But having said that, ordinarily, the normal beer is usually taken in the evening or in the afternoon. But if you, in this case of the illicit brews or the second generation, you'll find the partakers taking that drink from morning up to evening and throughout the night. And it begs the question, is it really alcohol or is it something that is addictive?
Is that a function, Mr. Kega, is that a function of the alcohol itself, whether it's illicit or not, or deeper problems and deeper issues that perhaps your constituents and people across Central Region and the country indeed are facing? What are you trying to do to address the deeper issues behind drinking? Because it's not just the alcohol, of course there have to be other issues.
Of course, there is the short term and the long term. What, first of all, we are addressing is the short term. This is a disaster in waiting. We have seen our young men and women dying from consumption of these illicit brews. So, first of all, we address that. Then, the long-term solution, of course, will be people who still want to have a drink. How do we address those issues? Do we need to lower taxes so that at least the contemporary beer is affordable to the other people? Secondly, we need to come up with legislation to regulate the consumption in terms of hours and make sure that it is properly enforced. So what we are first of all doing is the stopgap measures to at least address this very, very urgent situation.
All right, Mr. Kega, I venture to tell you that the Alcoholics Control Bill that was passed in Parliament has those regulations. The Mutudo laws have regulations on what time to drink. There have been statistics that were published by NACADA since 2010 telling in detail how bad the problem is in the Central Region. This has been happening for over 5 years. Why the rush now? Why haven't we heard the voices of leaders as robustly as we're hearing them now?
This is not just an issue about Mount Kenya region. It is an issue countrywide. But of course, it's more entrenched in central Kenya region. And that is the reason we say, you know, of course, once the time we had the new constitution, of course, there was a problem in that those people who are giving the licenses are the county government. Those people who are enforcing the laws is the national government. And of course, there was that lacuna. There is a gap. If you ask the county government, they say that they have licensed particular people whom they believe that are selling genuine alcohol. If you now ask the law enforcers, they say that they don't know which bars, they don't know which drinks are actually allowed. So there is that kind of a lacuna, which of course I think it has to be addressed through legislation.
All right, we could go on, but I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us, Kanini Kega, Member of Parliament for Kieni constituency.
Right, let's take you to the crisis at the port of Mombasa. The recruitment exercise of the Kenya Ports Authority turned chaotic today as scores of people were left injured in a stampede at the institution. The incident occurred when thousands of applicants for the newly advertised jobs at the state corporation tried to force entry into the institution. This, even as the management of KPA openly defied a directive by Acting Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia against axing 27 members of staff labelled ringleaders in a go-slow over the new NHIF rates. KTN's Coast reporter Francis Ontoma has been keeping tabs on that story and now files this report.
As minutes went by, so did this crowd ballooned, one after the other. They made their way into the Bandari College, and by mid-morning the place will become too small to accommodate the job seekers. A sea of humanity had occupied literally every nook and crannies of this compound, all eyeing for a spot advertised at the Mombasa port. The kind of desperation and confusion here at the Bandari College is quite evident. The crowd started building up as early as 4 a.m. and even just about 10 a.m. more and more people are still coming.
Nimejiunga hapa na wenzangu kuangalia kazi kwa sababu Kenya ya sasa inaonekana watu watafute kazi, maana Uhuru amesema watu watafute kazi, na nimekuja na vyeti vyangu kama hao wengine wananchi mnawaona.
Naamini kabisa sababu papers niko nazo original na nilisomea hapa Bandari College zote tatu.
Tumeona watu wamefurika kweli, sasa tunajaribu bahati zetu. Nione kama nitawahi kazi.
But running out of patience and eager to gain entry into the institution, there was a stampede right at the institution's gate as the crowd forced their way into the college, overpowering security officers manning the premises, bulging into the interior section of the compound. Police lobbed tear gas canisters in the air to disperse the crowd, and the end result, scores are left injured. A journey to seek employment will take another unfortunate path, some being rushed to hospital instead.
Police came when we were queued in a line, and they started throwing tear gas. When they started throwing tear gas, then people started running. When we started running, some of us, like me, I fell down. When I fell down, people came on top of me.
Watu waliskumana tu tukaangukiana. That's all I can remember.
We were in the queue, all of us, well organized. Then after some time, one of the policemen came and he was like, you have to like squeeze to go near the wall. And then so now the people who are behind, they came and crowded the others who were in the queue. So they start pushing, and that's why other people fell down.
Already 27 members of staff said to have participated in the dock workers' strike have been dismissed from KPA, as the parastatal now seeks to regain footing following the loss of over 200 million shillings during the go-slow. But the dock workers' union is not taking that decision lying down.
So far, management has identified organizers of the strike or the ringleaders of the strike, and 27 members of staff who instigated and directed the operation of the strike have been summarily dismissed.
So we are going to mobilize the community. We are going to mobilize all other workers ambao tunashirikiana nao. Alafu tuone watafanya mikakati gani ya kuweza counter that.
According to KPA Managing Director Gishiri Ndua, the recruitment exercise was inevitable owing to the sticky situation that the company found itself in during the standoff. Other workers who participated in the strike over the newly imposed NHIF rates have since gone back to work, according to the KPA management.
The confusion, hopelessness raises several questions on the manner and criteria of today's recruitment exercise, and perhaps a pointer of how serious the question of joblessness is in the country. Francis Ontomwa, KTN, Mombasa.
3 months since the deadly terror attack at Garissa University College, where 148 people were killed, the institution is rising to reclaim its lost glory. Now, aside from making concerted efforts to resume normal administrative duties, the institution is also constructing a multi-million students hostel, which will host 900 new students. Moremi Mwangi reports.
Ground zero for the bloodiest siege in the country's recent past. Garissa University College was a terrorist playing field for nearly 12 hours, claiming 148 souls. The mention of the institution sends chills down the spines of many. But for a group of construction workers, the past is history. They are now back here to write a new chapter for the institution to rebuild the college and restore its glory. Ongoing here is the construction of a multi-million hostel that is expected to host up to 900 new students.
The project was meant for 750 students, but it is done in a way that it can accommodate up to almost 900 students.
The hostel, whose construction was disrupted by the terrorist attack, is expected to be completed by the end of the year, and the college administration is optimistic that more students will be joining the university.
We keep on with the work we were doing so that the child can grow. Remember, university is the future of this part of the country, and we are one people, one country, one planet.
This turn of events comes barely a week after Garissa University College principal, Professor Ahmed Warfa, issued a directive for all non-teaching staff to resume work at the institution by the start of this month. In an internal memo, which was also circulated within Moi University in Eldoret, the principal directed that the staff should resume work even as this construction work continues. But the university non-teaching staff had vowed to defy the order, claiming their security in Garissa is not assured.
Therefore, it is my humble request again to the people who are part of us in this construction team to come and join the already group which have arrived. We are working out a serious program. The contractor is already on site, and on Tuesday I think it will be in full swing.
Garissa County officials affirm that security has been beefed up around the university and its environs. Thus, students and workers should not fear for their lives once the institution reopens. Moremi Mwangi, KTN, Nairobi.
CORD leader Raila Odinga has called on the government to pay teachers the salary increment awarded to them by the industrial court recently. Speaking in Mukuyu, Migori County, Raila said the government is playing games with the teachers' issue and should settle the matter once and for all. He said the government should not waste time appealing the case since it's the same government that went to court about the teachers' issue.
Instead of the government rushing again back to court to appeal, they should now negotiate with teachers on the implementation program. That, my view, is the best option that the government has today. You cannot drag this matter indefinitely. And I think the teachers are just generally justified. That, my view, is the best option that the government has today. You cannot drag this matter indefinitely. And I think the teachers are just generally justified in their demands.
Tapio Laikonen made up for his past misfortunes after winning the 5th leg of the KCB Kenya National Rally Championship in Eldoret today. The Finn led from start to finish as veterans Ian Duncan and Alistair Kavanagh bowed out early following technical problems. Laikonen was driving a Subaru Impreza GVB 13.
Elgeyo Marakwet, the home of champions, scored more points in its pursuit to make the region the best sport tourism destination. And for those who were around when Kenya hosted one leg of the World Rally Championships, was served with their memories. Well, the Flospa area, however, tasted the driver's sweets. And veteran Ian Duncan, alongside Nakuru-based Alistair Kavanagh, were the early casualties. The sharp bends and the urge to register faster times forced others to overshoot the road. But while a few found the going tough, former British and Finland rally champion Lokanen was enjoying every bit of the competition. He beat youngster Rajbir Rai by a 2 minute and 55 seconds, while Uganda Jas Mangat completed the podium finish 3 minutes 52 seconds behind the winner. Tapio added the Eldoret victory to the earlier one in Kisumu.
It really suited the nimble handling of the newer generation cars, for sure.
If you look at the pace of rallying in Kenya this year, in 2015, it's gone up another 2 notches, if you ask me, from last year.
As we've been marketing Elgeyo Marakwet as a tourism destination, I think today has shown that really if we work hard, we will be able to market our county.
Carl Tundo finished 6th, followed by Manvir Barian and defending champion Baldev Chaga, who finished 8th.
If you're disappointed about the Harambee Stars, well, at least the Malkia Strikers are doing well, where they registered their second victory at the World Volleyball Grand Prix in Algiers, Algeria, by beating Australia by 3 straight sets. The Malkia Strikers, who won by a similar margin against Mexico yesterday, were in a winning mood, and the African Queens took the first set 25-20 after Australia attempted to slow them down in vain. Kenya made easy work of the Australians in the second set, which they won 25-16, and the third 25-15. Kenya plays Australia tomorrow before flying to Melbourne for the third and final leg of the series. Argentina fell to the Netherlands 0-3, while Italy defeated Belgium 3-0, 3 straight sets to none in another match. Samurai Wakulima team, made up of Kenya's 7 stars, remained the favorite to win the 2015 Masaku Rugby Sevens, which started in Machakos today. Moses Wakisi followed the proceedings there.
As expected, the fourth leg of the Masaku Sevens International Tournament has been action-packed, with all teams showing that they have what it takes, and the main action being that they wanted to bag this title. Now, in today's matches, with the absence of the defending champions on the Tabadam side, a Fijian outfit, a Kenyan outfit, which the Samurai Wakulima has been termed as the tournament's winners. They have been said that this is a side that has all what it takes, and people say that they're going to go all the way and most probably take this title.
Right, I am Billy the Kid.
The local lads secured victories in their matches today, beating Kilunda 54-0, and that was in their opening match, before securing an important 46-0 victory over Mean Machine.
But our main aim wasn't to come here and play for the cash. We wanted actually to come here and play for the people who are here, for the supporters who are here, who might not maybe get a chance to see the people live.
Kenya Harlequins, who are the first and also the second edition winners of the Masaku Sevens tournament, have also been a winning spree, and they secured an important 14-0 win over Jakewood, and then they went ahead to win a 29-0 against a Dagoretti side, which has not been faring well in this competition.
Going to see a lot of competition, especially in the last bits of the game, because that pits the first and second seeds. That should be able to give us a very healthy quarters tomorrow morning.
The action is expected to go a notch high in tomorrow's extravaganza, where the Wakulima are going to be in action, plus also a very important and impressive side from France, where they say that they wanted to bag this title and make sure that it does not remain in the home country.
Want to take the cup to France. But we know it's going to be really hard.
And this year, as you know, the biggest prize money that has ever been done in Africa. So we're quite proud that Masaku is the first one to do that.
Reporting from the Kenyatta Stadium here in Machakos County for KTN Sports, I'm Moses Wakisi.
Lost in liquor is our discussion tonight on The Point of News. Donald Miyere in Bumala, Busia County, thank you for your SMS. You ask, how is the government going to handle the numerous illicit drinks packed in plastics and smuggled from the neighboring country, now being consumed in large numbers in Busia, Siaya and Kisumu counties? So it's not just a central Kenya issue.
Someone's relating it to what happened with the KPA earlier on today. Considering what has just happened in KPA, people are jobless and they are not a few. What will happen to the brewers? I think trying to target one of which are the central issues with alcoholism, with that slide and descent into abuse of alcohol, not just in central Kenya but across the country. I think that needs to be reinforced. It's just that the statistics aren't in and perhaps people aren't talking as much about what's going on.
Right. We should enforce the laws we already have. They're there. What are we doing about them? Like I said, what will happen when the spotlight on this story goes away next week, next month? Will we be right here again 1 year from now? Think about that. Thanks for watching our show tonight and for your contributions. Have a good night. My name is Yvonne Okwara Matole.
My name is John Alanamu. Look forward to Checkpoint. She forgot this weekend. Look forward to Checkpoint tomorrow. Very interesting discussion. You won't want to miss that here on KTN Weekend Prime, the point of news. Have a good night.